Welcome back. This video I'm really interested in because I don't actually know how it's going to go. I'm going to do a little experiment, one in which I don't actually know the results going in. And this all comes from a video that I did a couple of weeks ago on why you should have a pack liner versus a pack cover. And one of the viewers said in the comments that if you have a pack liner, then the outside of your backpack obviously gets wet and it absorbs water, and then you're stuck carrying that around until it dries. So you're carrying it while it's raining, the extra weight, and then you're carrying it while it dries. And so I thought to myself, I don't really know how much weight you would be carrying. So I want to do a little bit of an experiment. If you were to have a pack liner and your backpack was to get drenched, how much extra weight would you be carrying? Let's find out. So the pack liner is about an additional, let's just call that almost 1 ounce. So 0.92 ounces. That's the pack liner. Now I will tell you that I have an old pack cover. This is also a pack cover for a full-size big old pack, and you can see that that pack cover weighs in at about almost 11 ounces. So you would, again, even if it wasn't raining, you'd still be carrying around that 11 ounces all the time. So my plan is to totally submerge 4 different packs. Maybe I have 5, ranging from an extremely lightweight pack to an extremely full-size pack. So if I can do these in order, so I have a Zimmer-built Quick Step, which is a very light pack. Ugh. I have the pack that I can never remember how to pronounce it, and every time I bring up this pack in a video, someone always tells me how to pronounce it in the comments, and I forgot to take a look. But there's the name from the pack. It's an English pack. It kind of comes from a store that's like REI. I forgot the name of the store too. But this thing weighs a little bit under 2 pounds. The next pack, I think this is a 50 or 60 liter pack. This is a cheap one I tested off of Amazon. This is another pack that weighs in under 2 pounds. The brand is called Outlife, and it's called 60 liters, Electron 60. The next pack I have is from Vaud. This is a really old pack. They were very popular at one point at like stores like Eastern Mountain Sports and REI. I don't even know if they sell them anymore. Kind of a mid-sized pack. And then finally I have the Beastmaster. This is a McHale pack. It could pretty much carry anything you want to carry, and as much of it as you'd like. It's a big old pack, and notice I have the brain off of it. With this, like this setup right here, it's going to weigh in at about 6 pounds. Okay, now here's my plan on how I'm going to get these packs wet. I have a big stock tank over there, and my plan is to climb the ladder and then land into the stock tank, kind of like if you fell into a river. And so basically I'm simulating falling into a river to totally submerge and soak these packs. I figured that would be better than just like sprinkling it with some, you know, a hose or something like that, because I don't know if I'd get in every nook and cranny. So I figured, let's go worst case scenario. You're crossing a river, you fall in, your backpack goes under. That's what we're going to simulate. So if my cameraman can please point over and just show the stock tank. Point toward... Alright, so there's the stock tank. I'm going to go up that ladder. Actually, before I jump in, I forgot that I should probably weigh the packs before they're wet so that we have a starting weight to compare against. So let's do the Zimmer-built first. The Zimmer-built weighs in at 10.9 ounces. The pack that I cannot pronounce comes in at 20.5 ounces. The cheapo pack comes in at 30, let's call it exactly 32 ounces. That's a little weird. Well, there it goes. It's 30, well, it's quivering between, let's just call it 32 ounces. The pack from Vod. Let's see if we can get this on here. I don't know how we're gonna get this on here. We're gonna call that 58 ounces. I'm rounding up, just so you know, all my numbers I'm rounding up, just slightly. And then the big old pack from Mikhail. I'm not sure the best way to weigh this pack. Oh, there's gotta be a better way than this. I'm just gonna try to balance this. I'm not sure if this is the best way to do it. That's coming in at about 114 ounces. Okay, so now my plan is to jump into the stock tank with each backpack. It's gonna get a little bit ugly, so I'm probably not gonna show you every single jump, especially because it's kind of cold and windy today. And the reality is, I'm gonna wanna get this over with as soon as possible. So I'm gonna jump in with the packs, go in and change, and then we'll come back and weigh them. All right, so I went inside and I'm changing some nice dry clothes. I think one of my contacts popped out when I jumped in, so I'll be going with the glasses for the rest of the video. But I figured what would be fair is if I let them just hang for about 10 minutes. So I'm gonna let them hang there for 10 minutes because some of them have a lot more padding than others. And I don't think it's fair to weigh them right away because part of what you'd be weighing is all that water that's in the foam and the waistband that is just sitting there that would drain out pretty quick if you actually did fall into a river or when the rain is all over. So I'm gonna let them sit there and drain for a couple more minutes and then we'll weigh them. All right, it's time to weigh them. So we're gonna go in reverse order from largest to smallest pack. And I'm not gonna do any crazy camera angles. You're just gonna have to trust me that what I'm telling you is what the scale is saying. So let's go first with the Mikhail. All right, now I can tell you, just when I grabbed this off of the rack over there, I could see there is still a lot of water draining from it. You can see it pooled up on the outside of the fabric. But again, it's been 4:03. It's been almost exactly 10 minutes since I took them out of the dunk tank. About 134 or so ounces. Kind of actually surprised. I thought there would be a lot more water in this. So the next one is the Vod. I could tell you that this one just feels so much heavier. This has got a foam backing across its whole back. I can tell you it's pretty much, you can feel how it's heavy. That one's weighing in at 90 ounces. All right, now for the cheapo Outlife pack. This one again has some foam. This is just probably, you know, some cheap foam in the waist belt. And you can tell just picking it up, that's where all the weight really is. It's in the shoulder straps and the waist belt. You know, and so one thing I probably would think about is that if I was actually wearing this, that would squeeze out pretty fast. Again, I didn't do any squeezing. The only thing I did is I checked to make sure that none of the pockets were still holding water. So I opened up all the zippers and turned some of the pockets inside out, but I didn't squeeze anything out, even though I really wanted to on the Mikhail. 46 ounces. Now for the brand that I cannot pronounce. That's 30.7 ounces. Now last but not least, for the Zimmerbilt. That is 16.5 ounces. And again, I was rounding up tenths of ounces and hundredths of ounces just to make it easier. The only thing that, I'll end this with is that obviously, it's easy to figure out which packs absorb the most and why. My Zimmerbilt is made out of fabric that's going to shed the water pretty easily. It's not going to absorb much. The packs that have the more heavily padded shoulder straps and more heavily padded hip belts absorb more water, and it depends also what the material is made out of. So I could tell you, I picked up the McHale, and it does have padding in the back and it has padding in its waist straps, but I didn't feel those did not get heavier. The material that those are made out of shed the water right away, versus even something like this pack or the Vaude, I could feel the extra weight in the shoulder straps and in the hip belt, because whatever that is made out of, it really absorbed the water. The McHale pack didn't surprise me. I think it gained almost 2 pounds. Again, that is made out of material that pretty much the whole pack is absorbing some water. Again, it's bomb-proof. The pack is 30 years old and there's not a scuff or a thread that is even starting to fray. But when I carry that pack, if it does rain and I have an insert, I do carry around 2 pounds of extra water for a while. So, you kind of have to weigh the pros and cons of that. So, there you go. Let me know in the comments which one you prefer. Do you take an insert or do you take a cover? And if you take a cover, how do you prevent it from going down your back? So that's my next thought, is that if I had a cover and I wasn't with an umbrella, or I guess I could have an umbrella or I can have a poncho. But if I was wearing a rain jacket and I had a cover on, the rain would still come down and get absorbed in here, or still come in the front and get absorbed in there. So where these packs are absorbing the most water, they would still absorb that amount of water if you were wearing just your traditional rain coat. Again, if you had an umbrella or a poncho, I guess you can avoid that. So there you go. Do you have an insert? Do you have a cover? Do you go poncho? Do you go raincoat? How do you avoid getting your backpack to absorb all that water when it's raining?